Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to try something different that I've never done. I am going to try a top favorite carries. I have never done one of these. I generally find them kind of interesting and sort of fun. Sometimes I get ideas and say, hey, that's a knife I'd be interested in. Specifically today, I wanted to do a combo carry. So I typically carry a modern folder along with either a traditional or a multi-tool, more often a multi-tool. So today I wanted to do one modern folders with small sacks, and I thought that would be kind of a fun one to do. I actually have 7 here, so that's 7, not 5 and not 10, 7, so that's an odd number. So we're gonna call this the top 7 of my current carry. So let's just dive right in. I put these in an order I liked, and my 13-year-old showed up and rearranged the order. I think that's fine. They all get carry time at some point or another. So let's go into it. So the very first one, here we go. So this is the CJRB Pyite. This is the White Mountain Knives exclusive. RPM 9 stainless steel. I did add a titanium pocket clip, so it's got a little bit of an upgrade. But I absolutely love this knife, and I was really struggling at first with finding a combo carry, go all white, go all black, go gray. What do I do? And I stumbled across this. This was one of the first SD classics from Victorinox that I purchased. And my first impression was like, whoa, this one is just perfect. So this is my number one. This one gets a ton of carry time, probably mostly because of the pyrite and how fantastic of a knife it is. Everything about it's great. Button lock's very fidgety. This thing is just flawless. I did add skiff bearings to it. That is made it, it was already pretty smooth and probably unnecessary, but just to make it a little bit nicer. So there's number one, all right? Going on to number two. Number two is a little bit more recent of one. This was an interesting one that I obtained. This knife, this is the Concept Reverie. I got this from Gary Grayley on Blade Forums. If you have not heard of Gary or seen his work, he makes a ton of custom lanyards, and this is a custom lanyard with an Odin bead, and this is just spectacular work. So when I first saw it, at first I wasn't necessarily that interested in the knife, but the combo just really spoke to me. And this ended up being a lot of firsts for me. For this was the first one I got a custom lanyard on. It was also my first micarta knife. It was my first top flipper. And so just everything about this thing is unbelievable how smooth and easy it is to access. The lanyard really helps with getting an extra grip on it during opening if you need it. I'm still working on just the kind of reach over, but I think I finally got it pretty good. So love this one, and struggled for quite a while with thinking about a combo carry. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, why in the world do I not have the green lanyard from Victorinox on here? Or get Gary to make me a little mini custom, maybe a mini version of an Odin or something else in the mythology. But anyway, so this is the SD Classic in the ALOX, the aluminum scale. And I think this was called something sand, wet sand, if I believe. Now, unfortunately, when you compare these, it is a little bit thinner, less prone to scratching, although I suspect this kind of coloration will scratch up some. But we do lose out on our toothpick, and I'm sorry, that was the tweezers and the toothpick. That is something you give up by getting that tactile aluminum feel, but that's okay. This is a great little carry, and this one comes in at number 2. All right, moving on to the third one. Third one is one of my newer favorites. So what we have here is we have the Nautilus Lander. Now this Lander has been customed out pretty well. So this Lander has scales on it, titanium scales from Weigh a Knife. They custom make scales for it. I have also replaced all of the hardware that was originally black with the stainless that NAFS actually sells a kit in both stainless or black, so got all new hardware. But you can see the underlying beginnings for this blade had the black liner. This is the 14C28 steel. So again, this one came from, I'm pretty sure it was the Micarta was the original. Yes, it was the Micarta with the 14C28. Now, I will say these scales are an absolute game changer. They take this knife and elevate it straight up to premium level. It's got much more weight, very solid. I mean, there is absolutely zero blade play, and this thing feels like it's running on hydraulics. Okay, so it needs to be broken in some, but this is beyond. I just love carrying this. Now, it's not as big as some of the other ones we've talked about, but it's big enough and it is fantastic. Now, you can see here, this is in the A-locks of the SD Classic. And again, this one has that weave pattern. You see that? That is just so much fun. And these two just work really well together. So there you have one of my favorites. And in today, that's coming in at number 3. All right, so moving on to 4, this is one that my son has definitely disparaged many times. So everyone close your eyes because you're not going to be that pleased with it. There you have it. Whoa, yellow. We got yellow. My only set of yellow knives that I have in my collection. Now, I am going to tell you, this is the Petrified Fish Beluga, which is definitely a budget knife. This knife, I will tell you, is probably one of my favorite knives to carry on a daily basis. This knife will cut just about anything, and it cuts like butter. Now, it only has the front flipper deployment, but you can see here the fuller, and it opens pretty nicely using that, okay? So I specifically got this because the other colors were just really boring to me, and the blade shape, although it's extremely useful and extremely practical, it's just kind of blah. But when I saw it in the yellow, it just really spoke to me. I have replaced the bearings in here and put skiff bearings, and that has helped immensely. Interesting thing about the Beluga, I'm sorry, and I said Beluga, this is the mini Beluga. If I didn't say that earlier, I apologize. Everyone keep in mind, you don't have to tell me, it's the mini. So, interesting thing with the mini Beluga, and I don't know if the full-size Beluga does it as well, but when it came in the package, it had both phosphorus bronze washers and it had the ceramic ball bearings. So that's kind of interesting, and I think it's a cool little trick for them to add. I have not tried it with the washers. I've stuck with the bearings, and like I said, I went with the upgrade and put some skiff bearings in it. And it is, as it's broken in, it has been just great with how smooth it is. So, couple different yellows that Victorinox offers. This is called Sunnyside, so I assume it's like the Sunnyside egg. I think that's pretty silly that I even just said that. Obviously, it's based on the Sunnyside egg. It may, this is another one thinking about it where I wonder if I should be going all black in terms of the accessories for it. Let me see how this thing would look real quick. I don't want to interrupt everyone. When I did a previous video, I was kind of back and forth between black and red. Black and blue on a different one. Oh yeah. Okay. So I need to get some black accessories, because look at that. That maybe just took it to a new level, depending on your thought process. But okay. So anyway, I haven't had it with that black in it up until now, but this is what I consider my fun carry. When I carry this combo, it just gives me a smile. I just enjoy it immensely, and I just think it's fun. And I think, that's what it's all about. If you're not having fun, what's the point? So I do get I get some eye rolls from my kids with the yellow, but boy, I will say this combo hits my pocket. It's coming in at number 4. I kind of feel like it probably gets a little bit more time than even that level. But all right, let's move on. Okay, going to number 5. Number 5 is one that I just recently uploaded a video on, because this is actually not an SD classic. We have the Rambler. This is the one I was talking about. I was switching between blue and black, and I get it. Looking at that combo, black would be better, but that blue is certainly fun, and I don't really have that red and blue combo anywhere else. But anyway, going back to how I've been doing it, which is talk about the bigger one first. We have the Civivi Cubit. To me, this is probably the best knife other than the Baby Banter that Civivi has ever made. I will not disrespect the Baby Banter, because that knife is by far my favorite 5th pocket knife to carry. But this thing is just fantastic. I've never been a fan of aluminum, but I just love the texture on this knife, how smooth it is, the sound that you get from that. I mean, it just snaps with authority. It's easy to just kind of slow roll open, but still get that, hey, pop at the end. Again, I did put aftermarket bearings in here and put skiff bearings. Makes it just unbelievable. I mean, this is fantastic. So, okay. And then comboing it with a Rambler, which, the fan base for Ramblers is just rabid. So I literally just got this knife. So I really haven't had any time to carry it or any time to experiment with it. But I'm really excited about having one where the lanyard is on the opposite side of the pin blade. So if we look here, most of them have the pin blade of these SD Classics opening up to where the lanyard is. And this one has it opposite. We also get that extra tool in here, and we get the multi-tool, which is really, really cool. So I'm super excited about this, and I'm excited to carry this in a combo carry. Now, if we wanted to get specific, up until now, I've been carrying it with this one, which honestly probably matches a little bit better. But so what? This one is a Rosecraft Blades Awenta, I believe is what it's called. It's a slip joint. It's got a very, very significant half stop. It is an excellent, but very, very challenging to open. So I've enjoyed it, but I've wanted to have something that, I don't know, this just feels so cheap, even though honestly, this isn't much more expensive. It just feels more elegant to me. So I've been looking for an option. So the Rambler has stepped in. So we'll see. Does the Rambler take out the Awenta long term? Only time will tell. So that's going on to number 5. All right, moving on. We only have 2 more. Number 6. This is a good one. I think you guys will enjoy it. All right, so here we have a Spyderco Delica. This is the one that is done, oh gosh, why am I drawing a blank? These guys make a lot of the pocket clips. Matter of fact, this has their pocket clip on it. It'll come to me in a second. but it's a deep carry pocket clip. These are titanium stonewash scales that have this very specific cutout so that everything lines up, and that just makes this knife beautiful. So I have scales on a knife where the scales actually cost more than the knife, because this was just the basic Delica and the VG10. But now that I've added these scales and the titanium pocket clip, this became one of my favorites of all time very, very quickly. And what I've carried with it has tended to be the Cadet. So Cadet in the A-locks, this one's nice, although again, because I have some issues with chewing on my nails, I get myself in trouble with that all the time. I have some difficulties with pulling out the blades, so I like to use little accessories to do that. Unfortunately, again, as we talked about with the A-locks, one of the things that you lose out on is the toothpick and the tweezers, so it makes it a little bit harder. So I've been looking to try and find a lanyard that would have a little tool that I could use to help open things. Mostly, as my mom will tell you, maybe the smart thing to do would be stop chewing your nails. So if you want to carry a sack, it's probably a good idea to not be a nail chewer. Looking at this knife, I would have to say I could not be happier with that combo. Although maybe I baby these scales a little bit more than I need to. Oh, I'm sorry. So these were the Lynch Northwest. That's the one that does all the deep carry titanium pocket clips in various forms and matters, as well as they do these fantastic kind of drops every now and then with these scales. So if you get a chance to get these, again, this takes a budget knife and makes it just so premium and just done so well. All right, that was number 6. So moving on to the last one. Oh, there we go. All right. So probably my most babied combo carry. The reason for that is here we have the full-size Bugout made by Benchmade. This was one of my early knives that I obtained and one of the first knives that I spent time doing modifications. So as you can see, I have the Flytanium Crossfade G10 scales in black. I also ordered a full hardware set. I got this hardware set from my Adrian at Drilling XXX, who does a ton of titanium anodized screw sets for various knives. So from him, I got both the thumb stud as well as the screw set. Then, and I got the axis lock bar. So this has been just, look at that. I just love that. Look, including the back spacers, that same anodized light blue, ice blue, I think is what they call it. And then Lynch Northwest, again, they have their stubby or their short Benchmade titanium deep carry pocket clip. And probably because this was one of my earliest knives that I really invested in, both in the cost of the knife and how much I was willing to do upgrades, I probably carry this less than any other knife in my entire collection. But honestly, it's one of the best feeling knives. I mean, everything about this just feels fantastic. Fun, fun, fun. Sorry, off on a tangent, hence why I'm babying it, I guess. I'm carrying it along with a SAC SD Classic in the black. Pretty basic, but again, with the black lanyard. You know, once again, I get to like, what do I do with these? I should black those out. I really wish Victorinox would come out with a stainless steel toothpick and a stainless steel head on their tweezers, because that would be really cool to take that to stainless. But anyway, so that is number 7. So there you have it, guys. We're going to refresh ourselves. So we're going to say, go back to the beginning. Make sure everything's in the view. We have number 1, Pyrite and SD Classic. That is a White Mountain Knives exclusive. That's one of their limited editions. We have the Concept Reverie with a SD in ALOX. That was number 2. Number 3, if I'm not mistaken, came out with the Lander with the Way of Knife titanium upgrades, along with an SD ALOX. Number 4 came in with the very polarizing, but I think fantastic, mini Beluga with the Sunnyside SD Classic. Number 5 came in with the, let's just make a little room there like that, with the Civivi Cubit with the red aluminum and the Victorinox Rambler. Number 6 came in with the Spyderco Delica with the Lynch Northwest titanium stonewash scales and the Victorinox Cadet in the silver ALOX. And last, but by far not least, but just in terms of frequency of carry, we have the Benchmade Bugout with the upgraded scales, screw set, thumb stud, access bar, and standoffs and deep carry pocket clip that came from Adrian with Adrenal X and Flytanium, along with the black SD Classic. So there you have it, 1 through 7 of my most common modern with sack combo carries. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you see some things you like. Take care. Thanks for joining us today, and hit that subscribe button. See you soon.